Everybody, and welcome back to another video of Gaming with Daka. The YouTube algorithm likes me, so I think I'm going to continue with today's video, which is going to be which character should you pick as your free 4-star from the Lantern Rite. So we're going to be taking a look at the constellations for all of these characters and to see which the best constellations for these characters are. So first up we have Bido. So as you can see, she's got some pretty good constellations, the best ones being 1, 2, and 5, because 1 is going to basically turn the elemental burst into a shielding skill, which also allows Bido to play some defense. 2 is the best one because currently the skill can only discharge between a couple of opponents, but now this elemental burst's gonna be able to jump to 2 additional targets, which is obviously going to do a lot of damage, especially if it's a large group. If you want to turn Bido into a DPS, obviously 3 and 5 are going to be good because they're leveling up Bido's skills. So now let's take a look at the next one, Chongyun. So for his constellations, they're all pretty mediocre. They're really not that good. The only decent one would probably be number 2, because then elemental skills and bursts cast within the frost field created by his elemental skill will have their cooldown time decreased by 15%, but really the others aren't that good, except for number 5, which will increase the skill, and that's just because it'll increase the duration of the skill, but really they're not all that good. Now next up we have Ningguang. So they're all pretty good. The slightly better ones I say would be number 1, especially for DPS Ningguang, because we're getting AoE damage. Number 2, just for that cooldown to be reset, and then number 6, because obviously we're going to be able to do a lot more powerful charged attacks if we have more Star Jades when this Star Shatter is used. So these are all pretty good, but if you're gonna want to go for Ningguang, these are the best, I think. And then we have Xiangling. Now, Xiangling is practically a staple of all beginner teams, just because you can get her for free and just because she's so good. And the best ones are 3 and 4, and constellation number 4 is the best by far, increasing the duration of the burst by 40%, and number 3 increases the level of the burst by 3. So these are the best constellations. If you're going to unlock constellation 4 Xiangling, with doing this and you use Xiangling, then this is a no-brainer. You would want to definitely do this. Next up, we have Xinyan. So, Xinyan's second constellation is, especially if you main Xinyan, no-brainer. You're turning the burst's crit rate increased to 100%, and you're going to get a shield at shield level 3 Rave when you're casting. So this is absolutely epic. You're getting 100% crit rate. Now you don't need to worry about building crit rate. You can just build crit damage. And 6 is also okay because especially for DPS Xinyan, because it decreases stamina consumption and the charge attacks gain a damage bonus. But number 2 is really good. Next up we have Xingqiu. So Xingqiu, again, number 2, super good. We get an extra 3 seconds on the duration of the burst, and we decrease the Hydra resistance of opponents hit by the sword rain attacks by 15%. And this is really good if you're using him as a support with some 5-star DPS that's Hydra like Child or Ayato. You're really going to be able to get lots of Hydra damage on there. His 3, because it increases his burst level, is also really good, and 6 is also good. But number 2, if you're gonna unlock number 2 and you use him at all, this is a must-have. Next up, we have Yanfei. So Yanfei's number 4 is pretty good because it creates a shield when you use the burst. So it really helps you get that DPS Yanfei. You don't really need another shielder now because you have this shield from the burst. 1 and 6 are also okay because 6 will get you another Scarlet Seal for the charge attack, and number 1 will make each Scarlet Seal reduce the stamina cost of the charge attack by 10. So they're actually, most of these constellations are pretty good, but 4 is the real banger for Yanfei. Next up we have Yunjin. So Yunjin's better constellations are going to be 2 and 6. Number 2 says after you do the burst, the nearby party member's normal attack damage is increased, and number 6 is basically saying that you're getting normal attack speed increased. So it's they're both pretty good. They're not super special, but if you use Yunjin, these would be the better ones to go for. And lastly, if you actually manage to get Yao Yao from Wishing and you want to get a constellation on her, the best constellations would be number 1 and number 6, which is really convenient. Number 1 is going to give characters 15% danger damage bonus and have stamina restored to them. And number 6 is basically going to create mega radishes that'll have larger AoE and deal more damage. So if you already got Yao Yao from Wishing and now you want to get a constellation, 1 is a really good constellation. So out of all these characters, which one would I pick if I was just going to get a new character? It would probably be Zhongling or Xingqiu, because these are the staple of lots of beginner teams. Because they're just really powerful elements and they have really good skills. Of course, if you have all the other 4 stars on this list, you would probably get Yao Yao because she is a new character if you don't want to wish on her banner. So these are what I think would be the best constellations to get if you're going to be getting a free 4-star from the Lantern Rite event. Let me know which 4-star you guys are going to get from the Lantern Rite event in the comments below. And thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and Gaming with Daka out.